Hello and welcome back to my channel where I'm going to be doing something a little different today, where I'm going to do 3 film reviews in one video. A lot of movies came out this past week and I want to make sure I get reviews out for all of them. So I'm going to do reviews for The Outfit, the new A24 horror film X, and the Michelle Yeoh multiversal film Everything Everywhere All at Once. So stick around for all 3 reviews and let's get into talking about The Outfit. The story follows Mark Rylance, who owns a tailor shop, and what happens when the mafia, who the store is a front for, that he allows them to operate out of, what happens when they all start to turn on each other and he's caught in the middle. Writer-director Graham Moore here, which this is his directorial debut. He, of course, won the Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar for his work on The Imitation Game. I think that what he does quite well is create the mood of the film. I really felt that I was in this location, and the whole movie takes place in one location, so I think he does an adequate job of really exploring this setting. When you have Academy Award winner Mark Rylance, I think you're going to get a great performance from him, and I think he's able to offer great insights into his character through subtle moments. The nuanced fashion that we get to see his character go on, it's quite engaging, and I think he does a nice job, as does Zoe Deutsch. I would say my favorite moments of the film were in the beginning when the two of them were, their dynamic, and when they were talking to each other. Like, that was really strong because they both represent such distinct perspectives, both because of their age, but also their stature in the world that they're existing in. But the film being set in one location does evoke this sort of restrained feeling. There's a lot of things that happen off screen that you feel are imperative to the film that you're watching, and why we're not watching those scenes and why we're only hearing about them is a perplexing choice. It's one that I think takes you out of the film because you're just not on the same wavelength as these characters who have just witnessed these very formative and important events. You're hearing about it, which is never going to make the same impact. The classic screenwriting tool of show don't tell is kind of ignored here for a lot of key moments of the film. And despite some of the actors doing some nice jobs, these characters just aren't as well defined as they need to be. A lot of the thematic intentions do not land as well because these characters, just like the location, feel restrained, they feel confined, and they don't feel that they actually get to grow. Moving on to one of A24's latest films, X, which is directed by T. West and follows Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega, among others, who travel to this farm to shoot a porno film. And while they're there, horror antics ensues. When this film was really jiving for me was when it was exploring how beauty is tied to age and the appearance of beauty and the effect it has on people and their desire to reclaim it and to express it, especially in the terms of the filmmaking and the pornographic industry. There's one really great scene here where the characters are allowed to talk to each other about ideas, about these topics, where the movie just really delivers on, I think, what T. West was trying to do here. Once all the scare sequences started, they really don't have their foot anymore in some of the more thematic conversations that scene was discussing. And so all you're doing is really watching these horror sequences play out. A lot of the sequences are tense. I think they're well-crafted scare scenes with a lot of gore, but they're not as invigorating or emphatic as they could be. Compare a lot of Jordan Peele's horror works where the horror sequences only enhance the thematic arcs. Here, that's not the case. It's almost as if there were 2 separate directors, and one of them was focused on some of the more subliminal messaging of the film, and the other director was just focused on, we want to scare the audience, and they kind of don't work together at all times. I just wish some of the film had a more pointed analysis of the thesis of the film instead of kind of ignoring it once they wanted to employ some of those horror traditions and tropes that we all know and love, because by ignoring that, the film is kind of just horror tropes and traditions that we all know, but it's not as exciting as it could be. Then lastly today, I have a review for Everything Everywhere All at Once, a new film by the Daniels, also from A24, that stars Michelle Yeoh as a multiversal heroine who goes on this journey from just an ordinary mom who runs a laundromat to the hero the multiverse needs. It's technically ambitious to the point of cinematic hysteria, and you're just in almost complete awe throughout the entire runtime of all of the insane, crazy places this movie is deciding to go. The cast is really great here. Michelle Yeoh, of course, really understands the assignment and delivers this film. And I think the movie would feel much more chaotic if she wasn't grounding it. I think she is really invaluable to the film here. Ki-Hoo Kwan, who plays her husband, is really great here, playing dual characters who are kind of conflicting, and I never once got distracted. I think he very clearly is playing these two separate identities of himself very well. And Jamie Lee Curtis, what's not to love about Jamie Lee Curtis? It's really great to see her in a film like this, in a role that really gets her to break the mold of what we usually see from her. So many things are happening at a mile a minute that nothing, for me, really stays with you in the way that I think the Daniels wanted to. I would have preferred if the movie had slowed down and had given it the chance to breathe at key moments that would have made the ending really come together for me. Because as it is now, the movie just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating, and you really don't get a chance to gain your cinematic bearings. The action choreography is spot on, the stunt work is very impressive, and again, those visuals, I am in complete awareness that even though I think the movie is too fast, and I think a lot of these visual moments kind of are just happening too quickly, I still acknowledge that what it took to bring those visual moments to the screen are really well done and well crafted. There are fleeting moments of cinematic catharsis for me in terms of an emotional arc, but I feel that they're pushed aside too often for anything cool that the directors can throw on the screen. And when I look at the film in totality, that lack of a unifying point to the structure does, I think, dampen the movie. As the film just kept going, and I did feel the length as it kept going and going, I just was asking myself, why do I care? There's a nice message here about the paths we lead and the paths we don't lead, and the weight that both of those decisions, the ones we take and the ones we don't, the weight they have on us. I think that was translated well onto the screen, but I wish more was done with that instead of just another action scene or another funny, bizarre, absurd moment. You know, I think one less multiverse and one more scene where the characters are just talking to themselves, and it's not exposition talk, it's like actual talking about who the characters are, I think would have benefited this movie greatly. When I encompass the totality of the film, it definitely has a lot of madness, but I think I would have preferred a little bit more method to explain that madness a bit better. So that's my review for The Outfit, X, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let me know what you thought of these films down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos from Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you at the movies.